Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Is it recording now?
Mm-hmm.
Hello! Okay, stop it. Wait, did I hit record? I don't think this light's gonna be good. How yellow are you?
I don't think it's that bad.
He illustrated this is just a disaster. I gotta try. I can say that. Just cut that out. I don't know how to end this video. Because I really got lost for a second there. It's 5:09 and it's dark. Always the clap. I need to not always do the clap. It's the signal to start. Okay, so welcome to Middle Grade Monday. So I get requests pretty often, mainly from the same person, but requests all the time for what book the kids should read. And I work with middle and high school students, so I am on the lookout regularly for a book that would be a good recommendation. So today I'm doing some recommendations for a middle grade book. I have four, one in the series of two. I have some obvious ones that like the reading world would be like, well, obviously tell people to read that one. But then I have a few that might not be quite as obvious. So here we go. All right, we'll start with kind of obvious one. The Graveyard Book by Neil Gaiman. I love this book. Okay, so this book, let me make sure I'm not going to spoil anything. Okay. So the Graveyard Book is about a boy named Nobody, they call him Bod, who grows up in a graveyard being raised by ghosts. So it's not scary. It sounds scary. There might be like it's like maybe a little bit creepy, but basically there's danger. He's being raised by ghosts because his real family was killed. This book is so great, not just for October. I was thinking about it today, I think I would prefer reading books about ghosts in November. I don't know why. But I do. But also, this edition is illustrated by my favorite illustrator, Chris Riddell. Maybe it's Riddle. I think it's Riddell. Oh, you can't really see that, probably. Riddell. I love him. I have a full Chris Riddell collection, and he works with Neil Gaiman all the time. But I buy the books because of Chris Riddell and not Neil Gaiman. But, I mean, we have this one. We have this one. These are all from the same box set. I mean, this has some sticky notes on it from a friend, but I still have more of them. This one, so good. I love this edition. This is just so unplanned, this Chris Riddell part, but I don't care. Also, hold on, there's more, but wait. These that I love. He's just awesome. He's awesome. And, oh, I forgot I had this one too. I don't even like Alice in Wonderland, but I found that he had illustrated an edition of it. It's just like kind of creepy and wonderful. He's great. Wow, what a tangent. This is great. Little ghost lady on the back. Great. Next. Now, I've talked about these books on BookTube before, back in, I think, January. Sorry, I'm not touching my face so much. It's just like, I don't know, it's just like allergy. Okay, I love this series. I read it last year. The person who normally asks me for book recommendations for their son, he read this one, loved it. I felt very successful. But this is The Trials of Morgan Crowe. Well, Nevermore is the main series. Here's the second one. These are freaking awesome. I love them. They are very imaginative and it's just fun. Like Harry Potter's magical and imaginative. It is fun, but it's like kind of, I mean, it's stuffy. It's like a nice boarding school, basically, whereas this is just crazy fun all the time. It's just, I love it. I have nothing else to say. I love it. Okay, so I'll just tell you what Nevermore is about. I'm not going to talk about Wondersmith because it's the second book. But basically, Morgan Crowe was born on the unluckiest day of the year, and she's cursed to die before her 11th birthday. She's cursed to die at midnight on her 11th birthday. And right in the nick of time, she is swept up and taken to a magical world where she competes to be a part of the Wondrous Society. I'm making sure that's not spoiling it. I don't think it is. So basically, I love books. I feel like so many series start off with like a competition element to their first book. Throne of Glass did it. Hunger Games, obviously. This one does it. I just love that. It's just so exciting, and it's a great way to like get to know all the characters. It's awesome. So pick this up. Do it. Read these. Even if you're an adult. Read any of these if you're an adult. I've read them all as an adult, so. Okay, here is like a very obvious one. I'm not doing Harry Potter, but this one's about as obvious as Harry Potter. The Narnia series. I picked this one because it's the one you should start with. Don't listen to anyone who says that The Magician's Nephew is first. It's not true. This one is first, followed by Prince Caspian, The Voyage of the Dawn Treader, these ones might be wrong. The Silver Chair, The Horse and His Boy, The Magician's Nephew, and The Last Battle. That is the order. I did not plan to get up on my soapbox about this. That is the publication order. The publishers put them, once they were all released, put them in chronological order. Like the order from like when Narnia was created, which happens in The Magician's Nephew, I believe, and kind of like the end of the story, The Last Battle. That is the last book you should read. Look up publication order. That's important. These books are about, well, they start out being about 4 siblings who find a magical world in a wardrobe. I'm not going to say too much because like all of you already know, I'm sure. But they meet interesting creatures, they face danger, they eat Turkish delight. Oh, one of them does. Beautiful, amazing books. This is one of the first books I ever remember reading. I love it. Still, I've read it so many times. All right, and the last one I have for y'all today is one I don't see mentioned a lot, which is so sad because it's so awesome. I love it. I love it so much. But it is called The Inquisitors Tale by Adam Gidwitz. Yes, Gidwitz. And this is just such an interesting book. You're hearing about, oh my word, it's so good. I just keep thinking about all of it, how it comes together and everything. Basically, you're hearing bits and pieces of the same story from a bunch of different narrators, and it kind of shows how like a story spreads from person to person, from pub to pub. Like they'll be sitting in a pub telling a story, and then a person that's sitting there listening is like, oh, I know what happens next, which is really cool. But it's basically about these 3 kids. Oh, it says it. The Inquisitor's Tale, or The 3 Magical Children and Their Holy Dog. It's great, and these kids are going around doing things. I won't be specific, but and all the kids are from different cultural backgrounds or religious backgrounds, and they meet people on their journey with different cultural backgrounds as well. It's just really cool and showing just like all cultures and all religions kind of like working together and just being great together. So this is illustrated in a really interesting way, and it talks about it a little bit at the beginning of the book, I believe. But it's this medieval form of illustrating. It's been like 3 years since I've read this. Yes, okay. So it's based on this medieval way of illustrating. It's called illuminating, but they draw illustrations in the margins of the book, and it could be what's happening in the story. It can be maybe the opposite of what's happening in the story right now. Maybe it's a sign of what's to come later. But it's just a really interesting, this story, I freaking love it. I need to read it again. But just so many different like cultural and historical and religious things are in here. And I think it's just a wonderful book, and I think anyone should read it. Read this one. Read this and Nevermore. Those are my top. That's what I'm telling your kids to read, and you read it. I know I don't need to hold a stack of books up every single time I talk about them, but I love stacks of books. Here we have it. These are my recommendations for you if you like middle grade, or your kids. All right, well, let me know in the comments if you read any of these books and what you thought about them. So I'm curious if any of you have heard of The Inquisitor's Tale, because me and my friend Rachel, I feel like we're the only ones that have read it. So let me know. I would love to hear about it. See ya.